Welcome back to lecture 14 in calculus module. Before starting calculus in one variable and two variable, some prerequisite is required like number system, inequalities, functions and their graphs. In this prerequisite, I will cover the portion of number system and function which is required for calculus purpose only. Set, relation and mapping portion I will cover in the probability module. So for calculus module, I will use some of the basics of function and number system. Okay, let's start. Number system, I will use some notation. So let us introduce the notations for number system. First is natural number. The set of numbers 1, 2, 3 and so on is called natural number. What is set, relation? These topic I will discuss in probability module. Okay. And the representation of natural number is n here. I am using n. Second is integers. The set of numbers -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3 is called integers. Representation is I or Z. Third is some people represent extended natural number like this. It means infinity is not included here. And then integers, there are three type of classification. First is positive integer. Positive integers, we are considering the set as 1, 2, 3 and so on. Second is negative integers, like minus and so on, -3, -2, -1. And the third is zero integer means 0, or some notation use non-negative integers. In the non-negative integers, 0 is included. It means 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Some people also call it as whole number. And one is non-positive integers. It means negative integers with 0. -3, -2, -1, 0. It's called non-negative integers. Third definition is rational numbers. The numbers which can be represented as in the form of P upon Q, and Q is non-zero and P comma Q belongs to integers, and its representation is given by capital Q in many books. It is in the form of P by Q and Q not equal to 0 and PQ are any integers. Fourth is irrational numbers. It is represented as Q complement, and the numbers which are not rationals is called irrational number. Some of the √2, exponential, pi are the irrational number. These numbers cannot be represented in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers. Irrational numbers could be neither terminated nor expressed as recurring decimals. Next is real numbers. real numbers. I am using notation R. The numbers contain both rational and irrational is called real numbers. In the number line, any number which can be represented on this line is called real number. From minus infinity to infinity, any number representing on this line is called real number. Here, suppose this is your minus 1, this is your plus 1, this is your plus 2, this is your plus 3. Then here E also exists. E is an irrational number which is approximately 2.7. And if you see here pi also exists, it is approximately 3.14. So real number contains both rational and irrational. It is given as from minus infinity to plus infinity. And now I'm using here, you can see this is a one type of interval. So let's define what is interval. First is closed interval. Closed interval. It is representing as closed interval a comma b. If x is an element of this closed interval a comma b, then its definition is given as collection of all x which lie between a to b and can be also equal to a and b particularly. Means in the number line, if this is your a and this is your b, then every point between a and b and boundary also is representing closed interval a comma b. Second is open interval. In the open interval, every number between a to b is considered except boundary. Except boundary. It means in this case, we are not including a and b, but we are including every point between a and b. This is called open interval. Third, semi-open or semi-closed. Means it is open from one side and closed from another side, or closed from A and open from B. In this case, if you consider first part, suppose X belongs to open A closed B, then its definition will be collection of all X when A is less than X and X is less than equal to B. It means in this case B is included but A is not included. And in the second case, when X belongs to closed A comma B open, then it is collection of all X when A is equal to or less than X, X is less than B. So these are types of intervals. And I have already told you real number is representing as open interval from minus infinity to infinity. We cannot reach at infinity. So always use open interval. Open interval at infinity, we always use open interval because closed interval is used in the case when you can reach at the boundary, at the boundary points, but we cannot reach at infinity. Therefore, we always use open interval at infinity. Some facts about inequalities. These intervals are also called inequalities. First property I have, if you have a closed interval a comma b, suppose this is your closed interval a comma b, then how you write another portion of this real line? Another portion is from minus infinity to a and b to infinity. How you will write it? means you are interested in real number minus close interval a comma b. I have already defined what is close interval b, close interval a comma b. Now we are interested in the remaining part, or you can represent like this: minus infinity to infinity minus close interval a comma b. This is equivalent to minus infinity to a, means this is minus infinity to a. We cannot reach up to a because a is already subtracted with close interval. So in the remaining part, a will be with open interval. Union, because we have two portions left in the set theory. For adding two portions, we use union notation. It will be v2 plus infinity. v2 plus infinity. Suppose you are subtracting. This is representing extended real number, means infinity is not included here. Both the infinity is not, minus infinity and plus infinity both are not included here. If you minus real number minus open interval a comma b, then it will be equal to minus infinity to infinity minus open interval a comma b. This time you will get closed a union closed b comma infinity, because we are not subtracting boundaries a comma b. So in the left portion, left part, we will get boundaries. Here we are subtracting boundary. It means we cannot get boundaries. Third remark is, if a is less than equal to b, it will tell you either a is less than b or a equal to b. Fourth inequality is, if a less than b and b less than c, then obviously a less than c. This is also called transitivity. I will discuss in probability module it. It's an important probability. If a less than b and if you multiply negative sign both the side, then inequality will be changed. Then inequality will be changed. Minus a will be greater than minus b. You can verify it. Sixth property is, if a less than b and if you multiply any constant, positive constant, then k will be less than kb, provided k is any positive constant. And if you are multiplying with negative constant, then k will be greater than kb if k is negative. We are using here property number 5. We are using here property number 5. If you put k equal to -1, you will get same result. Seventh property is, if a and b both are positive, if a and b both are positive and a is less than b, then if you take any power, a to the power r will be less than b to the power r, provided r is positive. And inequality will be changed if power is negative. Inequality will be changed if power is negative. Inequality will be changed if power is negative. We have 2 more results also. Property number 8, this is a very standard result. A plus 1 upon a is always greater than equal to 2 if a is positive. It can be solved by using arithmetic mean and geometric mean property, or you can take 2 in the left hand side and by squaring both the side you can prove this result. And equality will hold. Equality means equal sign will hold. Equality will hold if a equal to 1. Means you will get value 2 in the right hand side, exactly 2 if a equal to 1. And another result is a plus 1 upon a less than equal to -2 if a is negative. And equality will hold if a equal to -1. So these are some facts about inequalities which I am going to use in further cases. First case I am taking, if any function is given as in the form of greater than, less than or equal to 0, then how we will solve it. For example, take a question x minus 2, x minus 5 lesser than 0. Now, how we will solve this inequality? So let's see, we have a small trick for it. This is your plus infinity, this is your minus infinity. If you take the first factor, what is the critical point for it? How to find critical point? Critical point, you just equal to the 0, do the factor equal to 0, you will get x equal to 2. X equal to 2. If you draw a line at x equal to 2, when x is greater than 2, then this value x minus 2 is going to be positive. X minus 2 is positive for every x greater than 2. You can see. If you put x greater than 2, it is going to be positive. It is going to be positive. Now, what about another root? Another root is x equal to 5. If you see the critical point, another critical point is 5. So this is your 5. So draw a line, x minus 5 greater than 0 if x greater than 5. Now, see, if x is less than 2, then x minus 2 factor each, is going to be negative. If x is less than 2, then it is going to be negative. Okay, now I am talking about x equal to 5. So at x equal to 5, value is 0, but if x is greater than 5, it will be positive. And if x is less than 5, if x is greater than 5, then it will be positive. If x is less than 5, then it is going to be 0 in entire the line system. It's going to be 0. Now you have two critical points. Make a easy wave graph for it. This is your plus infinity, this is your minus infinity. 2 and 5. What about after the 5? If you see after the 5, both are positive. And you are multiplying both the factors. You are multiplying, so positive into positive will be positive. So the product after the 5 is positive because both are positive and you are multiplying. And what about between 2 to 5? One is positive and another is negative. So product is going to be negative. And what about before 2? If x minus 5 factor is also negative and x minus 2 factor is also negative. So negative, negative, product is positive. So you can see that it's a plus minus plus. When degree of every inequality is linear, every factor is linear means 1. Here remind one word, every factor has degree 1. This is an important point. And second is coefficient of variable is positive. These two are important conditions for solving any linear inequality. So coefficient of variable, x is variable here, and in both cases coefficient is plus 1, it means positive. So it will be always alternate. It will start from right, plus minus plus. Now you are interested less than 0. Less than 0 means you are interested in negative. So where you are getting negative sign, you are getting between 2 to 5. So x will belong between 2 to 5. Now what interval we will supply, open or closed? So see the equality sign. It is strictly less than. It is strictly less than. Not equal sign is there. So we will use open interval, because if strictly less than or greater, then we will always open interval here. So the solution will be x belongs to 2 to 5 or 2 less than x less than 5. It depends how you want to write it. Now see the second question. Second question on based on this case only. I'm going to solve one more question for you. X, second example for more understanding. 2x minus 3, x minus 5, x plus 5 greater than equal to 0. Now how you solve it? See, what are the critical point? It is plus infinity, it is minus infinity. I am adding one more factor, x, I am adding one more factor. So there are three factors now, and each has degree 1, and the coefficient of each variable is 1, 2, and 1. It means positive. So all the conditions required for solving a linear inequality is satisfying here. Now what are the critical points? Where it is going to be vanish? It is going to be vanish at -5. Where it is going to be vanish? It will be going to vanish as 3/2. Where it is going to vanish? X is going to vanish x equal to 0. If equate every point to the 0, you will get critical point. So 0 is also critical point here. Now draw the wave graph here. It is right from plus, minus, plus, minus, alternate from the right. And in this case, you are interested in greater than equal to 0. It means you are interested in positive. Greater than 0 means positive. So where are positive signs are there? In between -5 to 0 and 3/2 to infinity. So x belongs to -5 to 0. Interval will be open or closed. This time it is equality sign is also there. It means we will use closed sign. If equality is not there, it only strict greater or less, then open. But here not strict, it is greater than or equal also. It means we can reach at boundaries also. Union, because we are getting at positive sign at two places. 3/2 to infinity. And remind here, infinity we cannot use closed interval. At infinity we always use open interval. At infinity we always use open interval. So this will be the answer for this linear inequality. Now case 2, example 2. Case is again same, greater than or less than equal to 0. I am solving here. 4 minus x plus 8 less than equal to 0. See, all the conditions are satisfying here. Degree is 1, degree is 1. Okay. But problem is here coefficient of x is 1, here coefficient of x is -1. Here coefficient of x is negative, so we will take minus sign outside. We have to make coefficient of variable positive in every question. Now multiply negative both the side. I told you, if a is greater than b, if you multiply negative sign both the side, inequality will change. So if you multiply both the side, inequality will be changed. It will be greater than equal to 0. And why you are taking multiply a minus sign outside? Because we have to make coefficient of variable always positive. Now you have two critical points, -8 and 4. So it is here plus infinity, it is your minus infinity here, plus, minus, plus. And you are interested in positive only. So x is belonging to minus infinity to -8. At 8 we will use closed sign because it is greater than equal, but infinity we cannot use closed sign. Union 4 to plus infinity. Infinity we will always use open interval. So this will be the answer for this question. Case 3rd, when you have two functions in the numerator and denominator, then how you will tackle this question? Greater than, less than, or equal to 0. It will be solved as case 1 and case 2. There will be no effect due to gx, but only there will be a change. What will be the change? See example, then I will tell you what are the changes in this case. In this case, suppose you have x minus 2, x plus 4, x plus 2 greater than 0. Now solve as case 1 and case 2. See, degree of every linear factor is 1 and the coefficient of every linear factor is positive. It means we can proceed further. What are the critical point? It is going to be 0 at x equal to 2. It is going to be 0 at x equal to -4. It is going to be 0 at x equal to 0. It is going to be 0 at x equal to -2. It is plus infinity here. It is minus infinity here. So move at all point. It will be plus from right side, then alternate minus, plus, minus, plus. You are interested in greater than 0, it means you are interested in positive. And you can see there is a strictly greater than, it means we have to use open interval. And x will belong to minus infinity to minus 4, union 2 to 0, union minus 2 to 0, union 2 to infinity. It's a similar case 1 and case 2, but here I have a trick also, or problem also. X minus 2, x plus 4 upon, I'm taking another example, x minus 1 greater than equal to 0. This is an important question, will help you in understanding of this case. Now if you see the linear factor, every factor has degree 1 and coefficient of variable is positive also. So it is going to be 0 at 2, minus 4 and 1. Here minus infinity, here plus infinity. It is positive, negative, positive, negative. Now you are interested in positive, and here equal sign is there. It means we will use closed sign, closed interval. So it will be minus 4 to 1 union 2 to infinity. We will always open interval at infinity. Now, is it correct? It is not correct, because in this case gx cannot be 0. But if you see the answer of this question, if you use closed interval at 1, it means at x equal to 1, this inequality is going to be, this factor is going to be infinity, or gx is not defined, here. Because g1 is 0, so it will be something upon 0, so infinity. It means the function is not defined. It means what we want to say here, if you have any function in the denominator, always use open interval at critical points of denominator. You cannot use closed interval at the critical points of denominator, because if you use closed interval, it means we can reach at that point. If we will reach at that point, then function will not be defined. So what will be the correct answer? Answer will be minus 4, we will use closed, open at the critical point of gx, and critical point of gx is 1, so we will use open interval at 1, and rest we will solve similarly 2 to infinity. Here we did not face any problem, because equality sign is not given. Here equality sign is given. In that case we have to be safe and think that we cannot use closed interval at the point of denominator. So this is your correct answer in this case. Case 4. If you have equality in fx upon gx greater than, lesser than, or equal to some a, some people do gx multiply in the right hand side, but this is not true, because we don't know the nature of gx. If gx is positive function, then right side there is no change of inequality, but if gx is negative, then inequality will change. It means in this case, how we will tackle? We will take left a, we will take a in the left hand side. Now we will make as case 3. So take an example to understand it. Suppose we have 2x minus 1 upon x minus 1 greater than equal to 1. We cannot take x minus 1 in the right hand side. We have to take 1 in the left hand side. Now take x minus 1 LCM. So 2x minus 1 minus x plus 1 greater than equal to 0. It will be x upon x minus 1 greater than 0. Now, what are the critical points? X equal to 0 is the critical point, and x equal to 1 is the critical point. Plus, minus, plus. Conditions are satisfying here. Linear factor has degree 1 and the coefficient are also positive. One point remember here, gx is x equal to 1, so we can't use closed interval at x equal to 1. Remember this point. Then the answer will be x belongs to minus infinity. We always use open interval, 0 closed, because equality sign is given here. Union 1 to infinity. We cannot use closed interval at 1 also. So this will be the answer for this question. Case 5. When degree of linear factor is not 1. When degree of every factor is odd. Like if we take example x minus 2 to the power 2019, x minus 5 to the power 2017, x minus 7 to the power 2021 greater than 0. So here degree of every factor is odd. Then how you will tackle it? Remember, the coefficient of variable is positive here also in each case. If degree of every factor is odd, then solve it as case of linear, because linear is 1 and 1 is also odd number. So linear is an odd number, linear is 1 and it is odd number, so it will solve as a linear case only. There will be no effect of these powers. Means take the critical point, it will be 2, it will be 5, it will be 7, here it will be plus infinity, here it will be minus infinity. So plus, minus, there will be no change. It will be solved as case 1 or linear case. You are interested in positive, it means 2 to 5 union 7 to infinity will be the correct answer for this question. Now, if all the powers are not odd, some powers are even also, then powers of factors are mixed. Mixed means even and odd both. In this case, we have to use a trick here. I'm not going to proof of this trick, but you can use this trick and you will get answer in every question. So what is the example? X minus 2 to the power 2018, x minus 5 to the power 2019, x plus 7 to the power 2020, and x minus 3 to the power 2022 greater than equal to 0. You firstly draw the number line, minus infinity and plus infinity locate, and write the critical point. 2, 5, 3 also, and minus 7. Now draw the wave graph. Only thing you have to remind how to keep the sign, how to put the sign. Always positive in the right. Now see this critical point. See the power. See the power at 5. Power at 5 is odd. If odd, then solve as case of linear. And what is the case of linear? Alternate sign. Plus, then minus, then plus, alternate sign. So we will put sign in the right, will be alternate sign. So alternate sign of plus is minus. Now see the power at 3. Power at 3 is even. Even if power is even, then keep sign in left as in right. Always remember this point. This is the trick here. If the even power, then keep sign in left as in right. So it is minus, so it will be again minus. Now see the power at 2. It is again even number, so keep the sign left as in the right, it means minus. See the power at -7, it is again even number, it means we have to put minus sign again. Sign as in the right, we have to put in the left if the power is even. Now you are interested in positive, so you will get only one solution here. X belongs to 5 to infinity, and equality size given, so we will close interval, and infinity I have to use open interval. So this is the way to solve this question. So in the case of even power, you have to use this trick. Now what is function? Function is a wide topic. We will study this topic in probability module also with the help of relation and mapping. But for better understanding of calculus, we will use some portion, especially the graphs of function we will see, because these graphs will help us to understanding of continuity, differentiability, and maxima minima of the functions. So what is the definition of the function? You all know, but I'm going to discuss here. Let A and B be any two non-empty sets, then a function from A and B, A to B, the function from A to B is a rule or correspondence that assigns to each element of set A one and only one element of set B. One and only one set, one and only one element of set B, and assigned to each element of set A. And it is representing as function from A to B, where we can write y equal to fx also if x belongs to set A and y belongs to set B. We call y as image of element x, or x is called pre-image of y, image of x. We can understand it by taking some domain and range idea. Suppose you have two sets A and B. The set A is A, B, C. The set B is 1, 2, 3, and the function is from A to B. A is going to be 1, B is going to be 2, and C is going to be 3. So we have to check it is function or not. So we can see that each element of set A is getting one value of set B. It means it is function. And this set A is called domain of F. Domain of F. A, B, C. And the set B is called domain of set B is called codomain of B. The set B is called codomain. And the range of F is the element which are mapped with set A. Here you can see that all the elements are mapped. It means in this case, range is also 1, 2, 3. When range and codomain are same, then the mapping is on 2. But these things I will discuss in probability module. Now, what about second case? A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. A is going to be 1, B is going to be 1, C is going to be 1. Is it function or not? Each element of set A is getting 1 and 1, only one value. A is going to be only one value, B is going to be only one value, C is going to be one value. It means all the values of set A can go to only one value also. Can go to only one value also. It is not given these values go to distinct values. It is not given in the definition. It can be go to only one value of set B also. In this case, domain of F is again A, codomain of F is always B. And what about the range of F? Range of F only 1, because one element is mapped with set A only. This is again a function. In the case 3, if you see A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, set A, set B. Suppose A is mapped with 1 and B is mapped with 2. Is it function? It is not function because C is not mapped with any of the element. So each element point is not satisfying according to the definition of function. So this is not function. What about the case 4? A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. A, B. A is going to be 1, B is going to be 2, C is going to be 3, and B is going to 1 also. Is it function? It is not function because B is not getting one value. It is getting two values. But according to definition of function, each element is assigning one and only one element of B. So it is not also a function. It is not a function. Some of the graphs will help us. They are function or not. We will check in the drawing of that graphs. So now let's see some important functions and their graphs. First is identity function. If we take a function from real to real, it means domain of F is a real number and codomain of F is also real number. Range is not given to you. You have to see the range by drawing the graph only. And the function fx is given to you, x is equal to x. Then this is called identity function. When y and x both are same, it is called identity function. If you draw the graph of this function, you can see that this is the graph of this function. It is passing through origin. Y is equal to fx equal to x. This is your identity function. If you see the range of this function, you can see it is covering all the values of y also. It is covering all values of y. So the range of F is again real number here, because for every x we will get value of y, means every element has image. And the element are coming from real numbers, so image will be also real number. Okay. Now we have another example, another function that is called constant function. Take a function from real to real, and function is given to you y equal to fx equal to some constant c. It is fixed for every x. Belongs to domain, and what is the domain here? Real number. It means if you do the graph for every value of x, if you put x equal to 1, you will get y equal to c. Suppose c is here. At x equal to 2, you will get again C. At x equal to -5, you will get again C. It means you will get a line parallel to x-axis. So this is your graph of y equal to fx equal to C. In this case, codomain of f is a real number, but the range of f, function f, is only one element, that is C. Because if you take, this is your domain of f and this is your codomain of f, if we put any value here, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and so on, you are getting only one value, that is C. That is C. So other entries 0, 1, 2, 3 are keeping remain. So in this case, range is only one element because only all the elements are mapped with C. So this is the graph of constant function. Polynomial function. We take a function from real to real and it is defined as y equal to fx equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus anx to the power n. Then this is called polynomial function where n is non-negative integer, and these coefficients a0, a1, a2, an are coming from real numbers, Then this function is called polynomial function. Let's see some of the famous polynomial functions. Suppose first is parabolic or quadratic function. I am taking y equal to fx equal to x square. If you draw the graph of fx equal to x square, for every value of x, you will get y positive. And if you draw, you will get this type of graph. This type of graph, y equal to x square. And the area in this side and the portion of this side both are same. This is a symmetric graph also. We will study graph curve tracing also in the topic curve tracing. In this case, if you see the range, codomain of f is real number, entire real number, but the range of f is only positive real number. Only positive, because we are getting this graph in first two quadrant 1 and 2, not in third and fourth quadrant. It means y is always positive. And the values of y is called range. If we take fx equal to cubic function x cube. If you draw the x cube function, it will look like this only, y equal to x cube, and it is taking all the values of y from -infinity to infinity. Here it is taking from 0 to infinity only. That's why this is the range. But here it is taking all the values. It means in this case, range of f will be entire real number. Entire real number. Reciprocal function. If we take a function from a real number minus origin to real number, and fx is defined you as 1 upon x, then this is called reciprocal function. If you see x is positive, then y is positive. It means it will go in the first quadrant. If x is negative, then y is also negative. It means we are going in first and third quadrant only, not going to in second and fourth quadrant. If x is tending to infinity, y is tending to 0, it is asymptote here. I will teach you what is asymptote in the curve tracing portion. Similarly, if x is tending to 0, then y is tending to infinity. So trace asymptote from both the sides. So if you draw the graph, you will get this type of graph. At x equal to 0 and y equal to 0, we will get asymptotes. So this is the graph for inverse function. If you see, y is taking all the values from -infinity to infinity except 0. 0 it is not taking because y is tending to 0 as x tending to infinity. So in this case, range of f is entire real number except origin. Except origin. So this is the graph of y equal to fx equal to 1 upon x. Keep remember it. It will be useful in understanding of continuity, differentiability, and other related topics to calculus. Modulus function. If we take a function from real to real and y equal to fx equal to mod x, it is defined as mod x, and mod x is breaked as plus x if x is positive and minus x if x is negative. You can put the equality sign anywhere because at x equal to 0 this function is continuous. I will tell you what is continuous in upcoming lectures. So mod x is nothing else. Under root x square is actually mod x here. Under root x square is mod x. So it is always positive because if x is negative, then I am supplying here negative sign. So negative, negative, it will become positive. If you draw the graph of mod x greater than 0, it is greater y equal to x line. If x is less than 0, then it is y equal to minus x line. So this is the graph of, if you merge both x and mod x, x and minus x, it will become mod x. So this is the graph of mod x. If you see, the values of y is always positive, always positive. In this case, range of f is going to be r positive, positive real numbers. Positive real numbers I am representing here 0 to infinity and 0 to infinity. Okay. So 0 to infinity, because at x equal to 0 we will get y equal to 0. So this is the graph of mod x. Next is signum function. Signum function is defined as, signum function, if we take a function from real to real and fx is given as mod x over x, then you can break it at x greater than 0. If x greater than 0, then mod x is equal to x, then x upon x will be 1. If x less than 0, then it will be minus x upon x, it will be minus 1. At x equal to 0, I am defining here 0. If you can define 0, then it will be 0 signum function you can define, but sometimes people did not define also this point. But if you can define that x equal to 0 is 0, then its graph will be look like, you will get for every x greater than 0, you will get y equal to 1. For every x negative value, you will get negative 1. And at x equal to 0, you will get x equal to 0. So this will be the look like a constant function graph, but here two constant values. At x equal to 0, I am getting 0 here. So this is the graph of signum function. If you see the range of this function, you are getting only 3 values. Minus 1 for x negative, 0 for x equal to 0, and plus. So there will be only 3 elements in the range of this function. So this is called signum function. Greatest integer function. It is a very important function, greatest integer function. If you take any function from real to real, and I'm defining here y equal to fx equal to, notation is greatest integer, is look like this, greatest integer x are called less than or equal to x. It will take always integer value. Remember, greatest integer equal to x if x is your any integer number. It means greatest integer of 5 will be 5, greatest integer of minus 2 will be minus 2. If x is not integer, then it is left integer to the x, left integer to the x if x is not integer. How we can draw it? How we can draw it? If we draw the graph of this function, we can see that between if x is between 0 to 1, then the greatest integer x will be 0. Between 1 to 2, it will be 1. Between 2 to 3, if at open 3, it will be 2. Similarly, we can draw for negative also. Minus 1 to 0, it will be minus 1. Minus 2 to minus 1 at open at minus 1, minus 2, and so on. Then one can easily draw this graph 1, 2, 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2, minus 1, minus 2, 0. So it is 0 from 0 to 1. But at 1 it is jumping. Then 1 to 2 it is jumping at 2. Then it's a 2. It's like a step function. Here it will be jumping function and it will be the minus 2 to like straight line here from here and jumping at minus 1. So this is the graph of step function. This small circle are representing function is jumping here or it is not continuous here. Fraction function. The function is related to greatest integer function. One more function is very important, fraction function. If we take, we can discuss the range of this function I made. Range of this function will be integers, only integers. Fraction function is given to you if real to real if we take, and a function fx equal to fraction function is given to you x minus greatest integer x. It will be 0 if x is integer, but it will not be 0 if x is not integer. So you know greatest integer is taking value 0 plus minus 2. It is an integer function, so it will take always values integer. Output will be integer. It means you are getting a set of parallel line x minus 0, x minus 1, x minus 2, or if you take the positive value then x plus 1, x plus 2, and so on. It means it's a family of parallel lines. What about the range of this function? Range of this function, you will get 0 if x is integer, and you will get 0.999 if x is not any integer. Means suppose x is 2.999, then greatest integer x will be 2. So the fraction function will be 0.9. It means it is reaching to 1 but not 1, because the difference will be 1 when both are integers. Because 1 is integer and difference, if you want difference 1, then second x must be integer. But if both are integer, then the difference will be 0. If difference cannot be equal to 1 because it is integer value and you want output also integer, it means the x must be integer. If x and both are integer, then the difference will be 0. So you are not reaching at 1, but you are not exactly reaching at 1. You are in some neighborhood of 1 only. Y equal to x line will be draw here, and you are not reaching at 1. It is from 0 to 1 only, so we cannot beyond below 2x, below to origin or in third and fourth quadrant. It will be 1, then this look like this. This is x minus 1 line, y equal to x minus 1 line. This will be y equal to x line. 2, it will be again a parallel line, y equal to x minus 2 line. If you take negative sign here, you will get y equal to x plus 1, and so on. You will get a parallel line system. These lines are parallel because slope is same. Tan theta equal to 1, it means theta equal to 45 degrees. And range of this function is between 0 to 1. And the graph is repeating after each interval. After one interval, graph is repeating. So it is a periodic function also. We will also study periodic function after some time. Exponential function. If you take a function from real to real, y equal to fx equal to a to the power x. I am taking a to the power x, where a is any positive number. Then the graph of this function, can be drawn like this. This is your a to the power x when a is greater than 1. Here you will get 1. If a is not greater than 1, means it is also a to the power x graph when a is between 0 to 1. If a equal to 1, then you will get a constant function. If a equal to 1. So this is the graph of a to the power x. In particular, if you take a equal to exponential function, then it will become e to the power x. And it is always greater than 1. So the graph of e to the power x look like this. E to the power x look like this. What about the range of this function? This value is always greater than 0. Exponent power is always greater than 0. So it will be 0 to infinity. The range will be 0 to infinity. It is not touching x-axis because as x tending to this, if it is tending to 0, it means x is tending to minus infinity only or plus infinity only when a is less than 1. So at x equal to minus infinity or at x equal to plus infinity, we will get asymptotes according to the value of a. Next, I am taking another function is logarithmic function. If we take a function from r plus 0 excluded to real number, then a function fx equal to log x is called logarithmic function. Here I am putting some condition. It is called place. It is called base. Place is always positive. Base is also positive, and base is not equal to 1. As x is positive, it means the domain of f is positive or from 0 to infinity. So I am representing here real number excluding 0. So this is the domain of this function. What about range of this function? If you draw the graph of this function, it will depend according to a. This look like this only. This is our asymptote here as y tending to infinity. This is your log x. When base is greater than 1, it will be x equal to 1, y equal to 0 here. If your base is less than 1, it is again graph of log x. If your base is between 0 to 1, if base is 1, then this function is not defined. So this is the graph of log x base a. What about the range? Range, you can see it is also taking every value from minus infinity to infinity except 0. 0 is not included in this range because at y equal to 0, we will get asymptote. Some trigonometric functions are also there. First is sine function. If you have a function from real to real, fx equal to sine x, then you can draw the graph of sine x very easily. I'm just revising all the graphs for your better understanding. 0, pi by 2, minus pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, 2 pi. So it's a graph look like only this. And here minus pi. So you can draw this graph like this. This is your sine x graph. And maximum value is sine x is getting 1 and the minimum value is getting minus 1. So range of this function is between minus 1 to plus 1. Every value between minus 1 plus 1. Similarly, you can draw cosine function. I am taking tan function here. So function is from real to real. I'm giving you a homework. Draw all the trigonometric functions. Draw all the trigonometric functions as a homework here. So here y is equal to fx equal to tan x. At x equal to odd multiple of pi by 2, you will get y is tending to infinity. Tan pi by 2 is going to be infinity. Tan minus pi by 2, it is going to be infinity. So at this is your pi by 4, this is your pi by 2, this is your pi, this is your 3 pi by 2, this is your minus pi by 2, this is your minus pi, this is your minus 3 pi by 2. So at the odd multiple, you will get asymptote here. And between these points, you will get the graph. So this will be the graph of tan x. You can draw it very easily as a homework I am giving you. So this is the graph. And you can see that tan x is getting every value here. Tan x is getting every value. So range of f is real. Range of f is real number in the case of tan graph. We have two more results also. Algebra of functions. If a function f is from x to r and g is from also x to r, domain and range are same, then you can add or subtract both the function. F plus minus gx will be fx plus minus gx for every x belongs to set capital X. And what about the constant multiple? C into fx will be equal to c of fx. And if you multiply two functions f into gx, then it will be equal to fx into gx when domain and range of these two functions is same. And if you divide f upon g of x, then it will be fx upon gx, provided gx is not 0. For every x belongs to capital X, for every x belongs to capital X, for every x belongs to capital X. Now, what is even and odd function? What is even and odd function? Even function. A function fx is called even function if it is equal to the f of x is equal to the f of minus x. For example, cos x, x square, x sin x are the even functions. What are the odd functions? If a function f of minus x equal to minus fx, then this is called odd functions. For example, sin x, x cube, you can verify it. And one remark for this odd function is, if you take f of minus x plus fx is going to be 0. So at x equal to 0, you will get f of 0 plus f of 0 equal to 0. It means f of 0 equal to 0. So odd functions are always 0 at origin at x equal to 0. So this is the functions, type of functions of even and odd. What are the periodic function? A function fx is said to be periodic. It will be useful in the integral calculus. Periodic of period capital T if fx equal to fx plus capital T, where capital T is least positive real number. Always remember this point, least positive real number. Some of the important functions. Periodic functions means if a graph of function is repeated after some time. Functions and their periods. E to the power x, log x, x to the power n, a to the power x are not periodic. Greatest integer x is also not periodic. Mod x and signum function are also not periodic. Fraction function is periodic with period 1. Sin x, cos x, sec x, cosec x are periodic with period 2 pi. Tan x, cot x are period with pi. Some results are also there. You can use this result. If a function fx is periodic with period capital T, then c into fx, constant multiple, will be also same period T. Fx plus minus c will be also same period T. Fx plus c will be also period T plus minus, but f into cx will be the period T by c when c is not equal to 0. So f of cx will be the periodic function with period T by c. Second result is if f1, f2, fn are periodic functions with period t1, t2 and tn respectively, then it's a linear combination c1 plus minus c2 f2 plus minus cn fn. If it is written as f, then the period of f is equal to the LCM of all period t1, t2 and tn. So this is the LCM of all periods t1, t2 and tn. How to take the LCM? I am going to tell you some remarks here. If you take LCM of one rational and one irrational, that does not exist. If you take the LCM of rational, it will exist. LCM of irrational exist. If you take the LCM of a by b, comma c by d, comma e by f, then it will be the LCM of ACE upon SCF of EDF. Suppose you are interested in the period of, find period of fraction function x plus sine x. What is the period of this function? Suppose this is f1 function, its period is 1. What about the second function? If you take f2, this period is 2 pi. So the let it is equal to f, then the period of f will be equal to the LCM of 1 comma 2 pi. You see, 1 is a rational number and 2 pi is irrational number. So LCM does not exist. It means the output is not periodic function. I'm going to tell you one more remark. If fx is a periodic function with period capital T, then a to the power fx is also periodic with period T for any base greater than 0. Is also periodic with base greater than 0. So these are some prerequisites for calculus. In better understanding, you read the related theory also from some books, so you can understand all these concepts of lecture 14 in better manner. Okay, in next lecture we will start limits. Thank you.